Hello everyone, Myzzrym here. Today's video will be about answering a very simple question that new players often ask, which is who should I first play when I get the game? Of course, as usual, take this with a grain of salt. This is a very subjective and biased selection of heroes I would personally recommend. And before going over every single heroes, I wanted to talk very briefly about the thought process behind learning Dota 2. There are three main key points you have to keep in mind. First one is practice, of course, like any other game. You can only get better by practicing and practicing, so playing will make you better, nothing new here. Second is game knowledge. So game knowledge you can get through playing, through learning and reading Dota 2 wiki, or going to the forums and asking questions. This knowledge is very important because Dota 2 is a game that's hugely revolves around game knowledge. You have to know every hero, you have to know every ability just to have this good judgment call. You have to know whether or not you can dive this enemy hero under the tower, or you have to actually let him be, if you can actually gank this hero, if you have to engage this teamfight now, or if you have to wait later, if you want to run away now, or if you can counter gank. Everything like this is through game knowledge. Then you get your game, your reflex and everything perfected by practicing. But game knowledge is one of the key aspects. You have to know what's coming for you. So this is the most important and most difficult part for new players, because it's like walking into a room and having people tell you, okay, first you have to read this dictionary, and then you can only talk to us. So it's gonna be hard, but learn step by steps. Pick your heroes and just learn what they do, and then you will get to learn the other heroes. Third and most important point that people very often tend to forget, and it's also one of the simplest points, is Dota 2 is a game. You have to enjoy the game. If you're not having fun, if you're not curious, if you're not open-minded, you will not learn anything. And if you're not learning anything, you won't get any better at the game. So always remember, if you're getting mad at the game for whatever reason, and this happens to everyone, if you're like, for example, losing 5 games in a row and you're just like, oh fuck that shit, I hate this game, but I still want my win, do not try to play. Just like, go out or work out, do something else, and then come back later. Because chances are, when you're mad, you won't be able to focus on the game, and you will be playing worse, and you will still lose. And you will get even worse, and you will play even worse. This will be like a circle. Not to mention, you will probably be a jerk to either other player with you. So this also means that if you actually, I present those 4 heroes and you try playing them and you realize that you don't like them at all, you're like, what the hell, this is boring. Try to find a hero you like. You do not have to stick with like simple hero, even if the hero is like tremendously hard. If you actually enjoy playing this hero, just practice against bots, get to know what this hero does, get to know what his weaknesses are, what his strengths are, and then start playing into real games with normal players. And if you actually enjoy yourself playing against normal players with this hero, well, by all means stick to this hero. And you can try other heroes as well, but play heroes you enjoy. If you do not enjoy playing one hero, do not play it. Okay, it's not like you're forced to play it. So before I also forget to mention something. Experienced players might notice that those 4 heroes are only support heroes. Why is that? I taught a lot of friends how to play Dota 1, Heroes of Newers, and League of Legends, as well as Dota 2, and I realized the best way to teach them was to lane with them and have them picking a support hero. You might think that this is unfair because they get to support and I get to farm up, get the kills, everything, but it actually helps them to focus on the game better and learn the game faster. This is because for new players, the most difficult part is getting to know all the information and remembering it. If I get them to play a carry hero, even if it's someone like Skeleton King, which only has one active ability, they will have to focus on killing creeps, last hitting, denying. And it might seem very stupid like this, saying this, but it's actually pretty hard to focus on everything at once when you're new. You have to focus on killing the creeps, denying your own creeps, watching where you position, and plus you have to be careful about the enemy heroes that you do not even know what they can do. And this is going to be very hard. That is why when I play with them, I ask them to play support hero, so I can actually, you know, I can focus on getting last hits, and I can help them, telling them, now you should nuke, now you should harass, now you should back off. Right now, take a consumable. Tower hug for a bit. I'll be back later. Stuff like this, because they won't have to focus on the creep at all. They will be like free to focus and get all their attention on what's important, which is positioning and enemy heroes. What do they do? So I explain to them, and they do not have to focus on the creeps and just remember, oh crap, wait, I can get this creep, but someone can stun me, and maybe no, forget about the creeps. Just think about the enemy hero. They're here, you're there. Are you in danger? Are they in danger? That is why support heroes. Alright, so now that I've talked about this, let's start with the first support hero that I very like and that I always tell my friends to play when they start Dota. Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit is a ranged agility hero that you can find here next to Riki and Phantom Lancer. And she has very straightforward skill set and skill build. You always want to max the magic missile first and wave of terror second. Get the ultimate whenever you can, and then get Vengeful Aura and the stats when as you wish. This is because the first skill, which is magic missile, is a single target stun. You just have to click on an enemy and stun him. So it's very reliable. It deals good damage. It has a short cooldown. It has a moderate stun duration, but it's still good. And basically this is your bread and butter skill. It can do everything. It can set up kills, it can set up ganks, it can save your allies. So first skill to max. Second is the Wave of Terror. The Wave of Terror actually grants you vision over the area, and it will also reduce the enemy armor by 2, 3, 4, 5 for 20 seconds, so it's quite long. The vision duration, you saw it only lasts 3 seconds, but the armor debuff lasts 20 seconds, and having -5 armor is actually quite huge, even late game. For example, if I watch Crystal Maiden right here, she has no item, but her base armor late end game at level 25 is only 6. If I get my new my Wave of Terror on her, she'll drop to 1 armor, and this is very huge late game because physical damage takes a huge part in Dota since there's no AP like League of Legends. Alright, so this is Wave of Terror, so max is second. Third is Vengeance Aura. It actually gives a damage boost, so nothing new here, it's passive. So you can see here, for example, it's 124 damage plus 14 granted by the aura, so if I max it, I'll actually have plus 44. And it boosts you and your allies. Now, you never want to get this early game because early game you have crap base damage, so it will, add a very crappy bonus. So those two skills are way better than maxing this one first. And your ultimate is Nether Swap, sorry. And it's a very good skill, very versatile use. And for those who play League of Legends, it's kind of like Urgot Ultimate, but it's instant and has a huge range. For example, here it's 1200 range, so I can swap up to Crystal Maiden. And what this will do is basically you can set up kills with it by swapping your enemies into your allies. You can save your allies by, if she's running, for example, Crystal Maiden is running away from the enemy, I can actually swap her away from the danger. But I also put myself in danger when doing this, so be careful. So Nether Swap is a very dangerous skill because being the one who swapped your location with the target, you might swap into the enemy team. Usually, if you can get a kill from this, if you get a high priority target like the enemy carry, even if you die, sometimes it's worth it. Same with saving someone. If you're saving your carry, it might be well worth it. Alright, so this is Vengeful Spirit. Let's go on to Venomancer. So Venomancer has no hard disable like Vengeful Spirit. Instead, he has a slow. and it deals damage over time, so it slows everyone on the line, and it deals damage over time every 3 seconds. So if I remember well, yeah, the slow actually decrease over time. If you see, it's like minus 50. If I click on it, minus 33, minus 15. So it's very strong at the beginning, and then it gets like it's weaker and weaker. The damage over time stays the same though. Nethermancer, contrary to Vengeful Spirit, has several skill builds. He has 3 main skill builds, and basically it's like maxing one of those 3. First one is maxing Venomous Gale. This is if you want huge killing potential. You actually deal more damage. The slow is it's like strong. It's not stronger, but it decreases. It gets weaker, slower, more slowly. So you can actually chase easier. It's easier to chase, sorry. And basically, when you get this one, it means you want to be aggressive. You want to be ganking, you want to be killing. The second skill is like Teemo's passive poison shot. It deals damage over time, it doesn't stack. So this is very good when you want to harass someone. There's also a slow component, for example 11%, as you see here at level 1. It only gets to 14% at level 4. So if you're just like wanting it for a slow, just take 1 point in it and it's enough. You do not need to max it. This is very good for harassing, because whenever you attack it will refresh this debuff, and it deals at level 4 20 damage per second over 7 seconds, so 140 damage whenever you shoot someone. That means you can actually trade blows by just attacking once and backing away, instead of like hitting and hitting enemies over and over again. And this is good when babysitting someone who needs space. So you're attacking the enemy, backing off, attacking the enemy, backing off, and they will take more damage than you will usually. And this will help you win the lane and relieve the pressure on your ally carry, for example, who is trying to take the last hits. Third skill build is for pushing and defending. This is the Plague Ward, build. Maxing the Plague Ward first will actually, the Plague Ward is something that has a very short cooldown, 5 seconds. Oh yeah. It has 5-second cooldown, and it only costs 20 mana. So you can actually spam it. And as you can see, I can make a wall of wards, and it will protect my tower. The wards have a lot of HP. At level 4, it has 450 HP. So almost next to like the melee creep HPs. Like melee creeps have like 580 HP at 30 minutes into the game. My wards have 450. Plus, they are immune to magic, so you cannot nuke them down. You cannot get an AoE nuke and destroy the ward. So it's very hard to push against a Venomancer early on. If you know that the push is coming, you can actually spam your wards here, and your wards will destroy the enemy creep wave and defend your tower. Same for pushing. It adds this little bit of DPS on the tower. The ultimate now is very interesting. It's a very powerful ultimate. It deals 81 damage per second for 15 seconds at level 16. That means that it actually deals in total about 1,100 damage, or 1,200 damage. And it has a huge AoE. So the only thing to know is that it cannot kill by itself. If ever someone was like, for example, at 3 HP and I use this, it will stay at 1 HP. I can actually kill the enemy by using one of those 2 skills, because those one are actually lethal. This one is not lethal. And why Venomancer is a very good support is, even if you do not have any items, the wars is very good for defending. The slow is very good for controlling, and the ultimate, even if you die in the team fight, if you landed the ultimate on 5 enemy heroes, you see how low they get. They get like mid HP just from my ultimate. So just imagine you're here, and you also have 4 ally heroes in your team fight. So if by yourself you take all the enemy heroes down to half HP, it's enormous. Even if you die, you will have done your job. So very good support hero. Let's go into the intelligence hero, Crystal Maiden. So Crystal Maiden, what does she do? She's the support hero by excellence. She has basically two ways of building her, then you can mix it up. One is to max the nuke first, and the second one is to max the aura first. So let's go over the nuke. The first nuke is Crystal Nova. It deals a very big AoE, as you can see, and it deals damage. It slows movement speed and attack speed. So it's very good to catch up enemy heroes to set up the ganks. And as you can see, the range is very huge. Actually, if you see here, the circle does not get up to the enemy heroes, but the AoE is huge. It's like big enough to actually touch them if I cast it here. So the range is actually very big. The second skill is Frostbite. It actually frees a hero like Rise Cage does in League of Legends. That means they cannot move, they cannot attack, but they can still use spells. So be careful if you attack an enemy nuker. You have to keep in mind that he can still use his spells when he's in the ice. It also deals damage over time. Third ability is the Arcane Aura. It gives every ally on the map a mana regen bonus. So basically what I say, you have two skill build. You either have the very aggressive Crystal Maiden that max the two Crystal Nova and Frostbite first, to get more damage output, to get more stun duration, disable duration I mean. And this is very aggressive. It's also very mana intensive. Maxing the aura first, on the other hand, makes your allies able to use more spells, so it's also offensive, but you as a hero yourself will not be as powerful as if you max the two nukes. So you'll still be useful because you have a slow and a Frostbite that still disables for 1.5 seconds at level 1, so it's still quite big. But having the Arcane Aura allows your allies to actually spam their spells much more. Now, Crystal Maiden is different from the other heroes, as in she does not need her level 6 ultimate. This is because her ultimate, I will show you, is channeling 1, and second is actually centered on her. That means that you actually have to be in the middle of the fight to get most of the damage done. Now remember, what is Crystal Maiden? She's a squishy support. Chances are if you're in the middle of the fight, you're not in the right place and you will just die in 2 seconds. You have very low HP with Crystal Maiden. Even with items, you're still a support hero, and that means that your HP will very likely be low, and if you get focused you will die. Plus it's a channel ability, so if you get stunned it will get cancelled. So I'm not saying the skill is bad in itself, because it has actually a huge damage potential, but it's random. That means that as you saw, it actually makes the crystal shard rain down, and you can deal a huge amount of damage, like you can deal almost next to no damage. See, here Kunkka got killed, while Louis here got almost next to no damage. Or yeah, he still got damage, but not as much. So it has this little random component to it, which is quite risky. It's still quite good, because if you actually pull it off in the middle of the fight, that forces people either to run away or to like put a stun on you. It's kind of like in League of Legends, Nunu Ultimate. You're not using it for the damage as much as for the area control. By using the ultimate of Nunu, you're forcing the people either to run away from you or to stun you. This is the same for Crystal Maiden. If you're in the middle of the team fight and you see that your carry is getting focused, if you use this ultimate, either they will force their attention on you, or they will be running away from the AoE, saving your carry, or they will fight still and kill your carry, but still take a lot of damage. Alright, so this is it for Crystal Maiden. Now Lich. Lich is also an ice themed hero, and he has a quite like Frost Blast, looks quite like Crystal Nova. It has a AoE slow and damage, but it cannot be cast on an area. It has to be cast on a creep or an enemy hero. So as you can see here, I cast it here, and it also damaged the surrounding creeps. Second skill is Sacrifice. Now I'm gonna show you something. For example, I cast my spell here and I lost mana. Now Sacrifice makes me able to eat one of my own creep and gain mana. So it's very good for lane control. Lich is a very powerful hero for lane control because his Sacrifice makes you able to deny a creep from full health every 35 seconds to like max level 20 seconds. And plus it gives mana. So it makes you able to spam your Frostblast on your enemy hero to control the lane, and also to eat your own creeps to push back your own lane and avoid pushing. So Lich is very powerful as a babysitter for that reason. His second skill, Ice Armor, is often got like mid to late game, or just like one level early game, and the rest later on. It gives a buff to an ally unit, and it adds armor, and it also slows the any enemy who attacks the armored unit. Now the ultimate is actually extremely powerful. Lich ultimate is for League of Legends who actually know Brand. Brand ultimate bounces from player to player. This is the same. Chain Frost, it bounces on enemy unit and creep also, so you have to be careful with this. So for example, if I use it on this axe, very low damage. It doesn't bounce on myself, it doesn't do anything. It only deals like 460 damage, which is still quite huge, right? It's also slows, but it can actually jump up to, oops, sorry. It can actually jump to 7 times, so you can imagine the damage output of this.
Enemies need killing.
So if I want to refresh here, so you saw here that although it has bounces almost only on creeps, the axe almost took like half of his HP away. So Chain Frost, very powerful ultimate. You also have to notice that the first target gets mini-stun. This is maybe it might seem a bit strange for people, but it's very useful for also channeling abilities. Sometimes you want to use it for, imagine if like Enigma blacks hole your entire team, just sacrifice the damage and Chain Frost the Enigma just to like prevent him from killing your entire team.
What a trip.
Alright, so this is it for the 4 support heroes. Some people may want to play as carry hero, and there, Skeleton King is quite the okay carry hero for new players. He's a melee carry hero that also has a very strong stun. It's kind of like Vengeful Spirit. It stuns and also slows afterwards and deals damage. So first skill, stun, nothing too new here. Second skill is Vampiric Aura, so that means that when you hit someone you gain life back. Third skill is Critical Strike, it's also passive. When you hit someone you have a chance to crit. And ultimate is Reincarnation. Every 60 seconds at level 16, if you die, if you have enough mana you will be reincarnated to full life. So I'm saying this is a quite okay beginner hero because he only has one skill, active skill. And the skill itself is a stun, so it's still going to be useful. Alright, so I think I'll stop here for the new player's hero. Of course, as usual, this is subjective, and if ever you have any question, more precise question on any hero here or heroes that I have not presented, feel free to ask any question on the comments down below, and I'd be happy to answer them as best as I can. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.